I got distracted. I know you probably expected another video about me transforming my little application into a full code app, but no, I got distracted by the problem of feedback. Now, as you know, or maybe you don't know, but I'm a freelance developer, and I have a little, well, let's call it agency that creates MVPs, among other software products. And one of the most important things I always tell my clients is you need to collect feedback as quickly as possible, because you need to validate whether your idea is, useful, if anyone wants to use this, and how you can actually go on, what your users want to see next, because you don't want to develop something or a feature your users don't want. Now, this idea led me down a little rabbit hole, because I was thinking about the idea of feedback itself. When do you normally give good feedback? Imagine yourself, if that person who wants feedback is asking you directly, giving them honest feedback is very hard. Luckily, in the age of the internet, I thought, let's change it a little bit. Why don't we just make it very easy to give feedback while at the same time keeping it anonymous? So I created FasterFeedback.app. That was the domain that was still free. The whole idea is that it's really easy. There's no fluff around it, and it's an easy upvote system. And the best thing is it's anonymous. Anyone can take part. You don't need a login, and all you need is to share a link. That's all. And with that link, you or I or my clients can simply put a link on their webpage or their MVP and can get some feedback. Now, let me show you what that would look like. Well, I've got a little landing page over here, and I'll just see a bit of, what it would look like, a vote board, or what the upvoting would look like, and how it basically works. That's it. And the idea is to start collecting honest feedback. So let's just do this. Let's create a vote board, and we'll actually share this vote board in this video description, where you can request new things for this channel, have ideas and feedback. And it's really easy. All you say is you create a vote board, and you say digital makery YouTube channel requests and feedback. Tell me what videos you would like to see next, and what kind of improvement you want to see. Be honest, don't be too honest, but that's the whole idea. So then you create the vote board, and anyone can now add feature requests in here. So let me just add a feature request. I want, or let's just call it second video about turning a low-code app into a full-code app. And I can guarantee you that video is already being worked on, so it will come out soon. How did you change the AI? This is going to be the next video, so I'm just going to put this in here. You don't need to upvote this. Now you can add the request, and now basically anyone can come in and can upvote it. And if I wanted to, I could simply share the feedback, share the vote board. It's now copied, my clip, and I can simply put it in here, and there you go. There's the feedback. There's a couple of little things in the back talk about in the second part of this video regarding how I built it and some behind the scenes backend to make sure it's not flooded with bots. And if you like it, it's FasterFeedback.app. So give it a go. Maybe you can use it for one of your projects and tell me what you like about it. I will also add a little vote board for faster feedback as well. We'll add that in the link, and I will also add it on this webpage because faster feedback can also collect feedback. Now let's get into some details of how I built it. To do that, let's just open up CaliDraw. Now, FasterFeedback.app. Let's call it Techstack. Okay. As for the most things, I wanted to keep this really simple, and I'll just show you what tools I used to build it, and some of the problems I stumbled upon, and for the design, let's call it front end. No, actually, let's call it framework. What did I use for framework? Well, that's pretty simple. I used NextJS, and I deployed it on Vercel. Why did I do that? Well, it's extremely simple and fast to deploy something on there, and I know the stack and it's fantastic, and you can build full stack applications. So very simple. So I just created a basic NextJS app, but I did put some extra stuff in there. So I went down the experimental path and added partial pre-rendering, and I also used the cache in the canary channel. Yeah, it's the directive, and what it does is basically it makes caching something very easy. Next thing is, what did I use as database? For database, this time I wanted to try out something else. Usually I use Supabase because it's fast, but I wanted to try out, Drizzle. And Drizzle does work with Supabase, but I feel like you don't really need Drizzle and Supabase because Supabase already has its own SDK. So database-wise, I went with Neon. And if you don't know Neon, let me just show you. Neon is a database, serverless Postgres database, and it's got all kinds of features, and people have been talking about it in the past. But in the end, it is a Postgres database, but it's not a backend as a service, so it's not like Supabase, but it is simple Postgres. Given that it is simple Postgres, I wanted to use an ORM on top, and what I chose was Drizzle. Drizzle is generating the types for your database. Yeah, I just liked working with it. Drizzle, or Neon actually, plus Drizzle being the ORM. So let's put security there. I wanted to make sure that anyone who wants to give feedback does not have to log in, but can get started right away. I don't know whether I'm always going to keep it like this, but I feel it's a good start to get people onto the FasterFeedback and tell me whether they like it or not. So I used a lot of local storage to make sure that the system remembers what you upvoted, what vote boards you created. What I also use, and this is my next thing, is anonymous authorization, or authentication, I should say. When you go beyond this page and you create a vote board, you're being assigned a user and a session. And this way I can also check if something belongs to you, and I can make sure there's not too many bots on here. And for something like this, I found better-auth. And better-auth has really been fantastic. Because why did I use better-auth? I normally use Supabase auth. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Problem is, you're sort of locked into Supabase and in their backend as a service. Now, there's Clerk all over the internet, but to be honest, the main problem I have with Clerk, I always find a bit discouraging, is this is all fine, but then you go up to 2 cents per monthly active user, which I imagine would add up quite quickly. And I didn't want that, particularly if I have lots of users who come on here and, sign in anonymously. And then I thought, okay, what else could I use? So you've got things like NextAuth, all sorts of services, but they all appear to be quite complicated. So then I stumbled over better-auth, and better-auth is a really modern, comprehensive authentication framework for TypeScript. They're still very, very new, or rather new, but there's a few YouTube videos out there, and I really like their approach. It's all about plugging in whatever you need. So they got basically, it's framework agnostic, so you can get it in, basically add it to anything. And they have your email and password, which is also already an advantage over NextAuth, because they don't recommend using email and password. And I do know it's not the safest option, but a lot of people are simply used to email and password. Particularly here in Germany, email and password is, outside the tech bubble, I'd say the main primary way of how you register. Then they've got all their social sign-ins, and then, as I said, you can plug in whatever you need. And my final decision to use it was because they've got a little anonymous authentication, which I used, which I like. Now, and then I added this to row-level security. So what happens is, in the end, everything is being checked that the person who is authenticated, or that someone who wants to do something on the application, so on here, to upvote or to add feature requests, is actually someone who is an authenticated user in my backend. Now, this leaves the last part What about bots? I've got a couple of security measures in the backend, and they mostly surround something like capture, but also simpler things like honeypotting. And if you've never heard about honeypotting, what it is if a bot comes on here, the bot doesn't see the UI as it is. The bot sees this, basically. Honeypotting means you add some input areas that are hidden to the normal user, and same on here, but that are not hidden to the bot, because the bot will only go through the HTML, and they will fill it out. And if they filled out that honeypot, their request is automatically rejected. So these are some of the measures I'm taking to make sure there is not too much bot activity on here. In order to summarize this, the framework is NextJS and Vercel. Keep it simple. Use the framework you know. The database is Neon plus Drizzle ORM. Security is better-auth. What are they called? better-auth.com. And I will add those links in the description. A combination of local storage and anonymous authentication plus honeypotting. What do you call this? Honeypotting and capture, to make sure nothing happens to my page. Design-wise, and this is the last thing I want to talk about, this is a page that uses this usual UI for landing pages. It's built with Shadcn components. If you don't know what Shadcn is, let me just quickly show you. Shadcn basically gives you an unstyled component library you can easily use. And the best thing is you can really go down into those components. So if you download something like, say, a badge, you can download it via the command line interface, and you actually have access to the code and can change everything about it. It's all styled with Tailwind. And I also used a bit of Tailwind plus inspiration. I haven't actually bought Tailwind plus, but what I used is I went into the little templates you've got, like the hero section, and you can see this is very similar, and went ahead and checked out some of the preview and some of the code, and then adjusted it to what I want. And that is basically it. So this project did not take long to make. Go ahead, create your vote boards, vote on what you want to see on the Digital Makery YouTube channel. If you want to see more videos like this, well, just add, I want to see more videos like this. Okay, see you.